coming into 2 years of requirement,
Mhm.
we have heard the department has announced a bit of concession due to this COVID. Is there any concession? If there is any, can you let us know what are the concessions?
Yeah, due to the COVID-19, government has given some concession for the 887 visa requirement. Number one is for the offshore applicants. If you are living currently in offshore, and because 489 is a short-term temporary residence visa, so those who are living in offshore after March 2020 and they could not able to come back in this country, the immigration has given the concession for 18 months. So in case if you were eligible to apply for 887 visa, and if you were completed 18 months and currently you are in offshore in outside of country of Australia, then if you have completed 18 months, then yes, you can be eligible to apply for the 887 visa.
Okay, so does that same criteria follows for people who are in Australia as well?
No, the residence requirement does not meet for the onshore applicants. So if you are living in onshore, obviously you must live in regional area for at least 2 years.
So basically, for people who have gone overseas, they only need to meet 18 months.
Yeah, that's
but
right.
people who've been living during this pandemic in Australia, they have to meet those 2 years.
That's right. They have to meet those 2 years of requirements. And used to, like, let's say there were a lot of metropolitan area comes under the 489 in family stream. Those who have granted 489 under the family stream visa, and those who are living in Melbourne, for example, Melbourne used to come, metropolitan area used to come in regional area before. So Melbourne also considered as a regional area for 489 family stream. Those who are granted before November 2019.
Okay. Mr. Patel, moving forward into residence requirement, again, most of the questions which we get asked from the candidate is, what are the documents required to justify that I've been living there for at least 18 months or at least 2 years?
2 years, yeah. It's very much important that you must meet the 2 years of residence requirement. In order to meet the 2 years of residence requirement, you also need to provide the sufficient documents of residence to Department of Home Affairs. When you talk about the sufficient documents, we can talk about the lease agreement. If you are living in rental property, so you need to provide the lease agreement, you need to provide the electricity bill, you need to provide the gas bills, water bills, rental receipt from the real estate agent, a rental agreement from the real estate agent, a bond receipt. If you are having a car, you can provide the car registration, a car insurance as well copy. If you have a driving license, you can go to the Vic Road office, you can talk to the Vic Road, and you can ask the Vic Road to provide the statement of your driving license addresses as well. So the Vic Road usually provide the driving license history as well, that which addresses you have lived during those when you are holding the driving license. A bank statement. When you talk about the bank statement, you and a spouse must provide the bank statement, and the transaction must be in regional area only. You could go somewhere on during the vacation period or during your holiday time, but make sure most of transaction must be in the regional area only, because Department of Home Affairs verifying the each and every transaction that has been made in regional area.
Okay. In regards to Mr. Patel, we've seen people they want to talk. If we've got any dependents, do you require same documents in regards to dependent as well?
We tell our client to make sure that if you have a spouse, because the main requirement need to meet by only the main applicant, but we also tell our client that make sure your spouse also need to provide the similar kind of documents, because when you do a lease agreement, you and a spouse are living together, most of spouse have their both name listed into the lease agreement, and we recommend to our client to provide the bank statement and other relevant documents as well. So if you are married and if you are living together, I would recommend, obviously you would have all the same documents under the like both name must be under the all documents. Let's say talk about the light bill, electricity bill, you and your wife, yourself and wife documents can be under the same bill as well.
Okay. Mr. Patel, in regards to what about if we got an independent child?
If you are a dependent child, the Department of Home Affairs, let's say if the child is born after the 489 visa granted, the Department of Home Affairs actually asking you to provide the vaccine report of the child, that must be made in the regional area. The child must be born in regional area, regional hospital, unless the mother got any critical issues and transfer into the metropolitan hospital, unless if those circumstances you can give the explanation to Department of Home Affairs. But Department of Home Affairs also verifying that those child who born in regional those child who born during the 489 visa, then they are asking you to provide the documents from the hospital as well. And if the child is studying in kindergartens or any other school, or they are asking you to provide the school certificate or school documents as well, the progress documents of the child as well. And it's very much important that make sure your birth certificate has been the address, and all this thing has to be in regional area itself.
Talking about a scenario, Mr. Patel, say for example, if a candidate has been living in regional for say 1 year, then he gets married, then his wife comes down here on a 489 subsequent entrant. But wife has only been here for 1 year. So is he eligible to apply for 887?
Yeah, because when you apply for 887 visa application, the main applicant need to meet this criteria.
Not the secondary applicant?
Secondary also need to meet, obviously, as a 489, when you grant the 489 visa, you cannot live, work or study in any other area apart listed the regional area in your visa grant copy. Let's say if your visa grant copy has listed particular postcode, you cannot leave any other postcode apart from those listed postcodes.
So as long as the intention is there that partner arrived in Melbourne, but then she moved into, for example, any regional area staying with her own partner, but to satisfy the primary criteria, the husband is the main applicant and the wife stays here for 1 year, still they can lodge for 887.
But make sure not live in metropolitan area after granting the visa.
Okay.